Hello and welcome to your Newsmax Now update. I'm John Bachman. The state of Utah is taking its fight against same-sex marriages to the Supreme Court perhaps as soon as today. Utah's Attorney General is planning a last-ditch effort to end same-sex marriages in the conservative state. Same-sex weddings began there last week after U.S. District Court Judge Robert Shelby declared Utah's 9-year-old ban on same-sex unions unconstitutional. He wrote, "Current laws deny its gay and lesbian citizens their fundamental right to marry and, in doing so, demean the dignity of these same-sex couples for no rational reason." Since the ruling, gay and lesbian couples have been rushing to get married, with hundreds of wedding licenses being issued.
I never thought Utah would allow gay marriage.
We deserve it. We're the same as everybody else.
And it will be Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor who will respond to Utah's emergency appeal. She can rule on the request herself, or she could ask the entire 9-judge membership of the Supreme Court to weigh in. Legal experts say she will expect Justice Sotomayor to ask all of her colleagues to weigh in, which could take as long as a year. And President Obama has now signed a bill, a new budget bill, which funds the government through 2015, so there won't be any shutdowns for the next 2 years. He signed the bill while on vacation in Hawaii yesterday, I should say. The measure eases the automatic across-the-board spending cuts known as sequestration. But Democrats also tried to attach an extension of unemployment benefits that failed, and as of tomorrow, 1.3 million Americans will lose their long-term assistance from the federal government. Democrats say they will push to get those benefits reinstated when Congress returns to session.
If we really care about working families and those who are on their way back to work, we've got to extend these unemployment benefits.
The president also signed a new defense bill that cracks down on sexual assaults in the military, but it will also make it harder for him to close Guantanamo Bay prison because he will have a harder time transferring prisoners from there to the United States, something he's pushed for since he was elected. And there were a few scary moments for passengers in Phoenix's airport yesterday. A man hopped a barbed wire fence and ran out onto the tarmac. That man is seen on surveillance video here running up to a Southwest jet that was loaded with passengers. He started hitting the engine of the plane and was wandering around before police were finally able to get him under arrest. Investigators are now trying to determine how he was able to breach security after this very close call. And at least 6 people are dead, including a former high-ranking Lebanese government official, after a car bomb explodes in Beirut. More than 70 others were wounded in that blast. Former minister and ambassador to the U.S., Mohammed Chatta, was among those killed. He is a harsh critic of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and of the Shia-backed Hezbollah movement in Lebanon, which has often been linked to Iran. And coming up next, Newsmax contributor John Fund highlights some of the biggest security risks that remain with Obamacare during a Newsmax exclusive, and why today may be the lucky day for 70 people stranded out on the ice of Antarctica. Welcome back. A large crew of scientists, tourists, and journalists from New Zealand stranded in ice at the bottom of the world may finally be free by this weekend. They made contact with the Chinese icebreaker that was sent to rescue them today. They've been stuck in place since Tuesday when thick ice grabbed their ship and would not let it go. The crew and passengers remain in good spirits, though. They have plenty of food and water and enough energy to keep them all warm. And during a Newsmax exclusive with John Fund, he said there are a whole host of security issues that remain with Obamacare, particularly when it comes to transparency when the American public, if there is some kind of security breach. Fund says the feds exempted themselves from the rules that most companies have to comply with. Here's Fund discussing healthcare navigators.
If they have a criminal record and they're identity thieves, they don't have to disclose that. We can't know about it. So these navigators are potential time bombs.
This has been your Newsmax Now update. I'm John Bachman. Now here's the Steve Malzberg Show from New York.